tough game like that, how do you go about, correcting and attacking everything that went wrong?
Yeah. So what we did is we looked at, everything that took place in the game and, start off with like how we play, and then and in the beginning of that is just, the assignment. Like a lot of things were there where we just needed to execute our job, okay? Oregon's a good football team, but it wasn't anything, any special plays, trick plays where we got outran or they overpowered us. We just got to make sure that we do our job with the detail it takes, and then how we play with the physicality, right, and the effort. So there's a lot of things in that game where us as coaches, we got to coach better, those details, and the players have to make sure they're executing those details.
Is that an inexperienced thing, a deer in the headlights thing, a combination of things? Like how would you explain it, I guess?
It could be any of that, but the bottom line is that's not, we didn't feel good about that game at all. And it's us on coaches, and I look at myself first to make sure we get, I'm teaching the staff and everybody on the staff understands what we're trying to do. And, we get that relayed to the players, because we're not going to use youth and inexperience as an excuse.
Coach Bray said on Monday that on defense you guys were cutting guys loose too often. Just kind of what does that mean to you? How does that show up on tape? And then how do you correct that?
That we weren't cutting guys loose?
They were cutting guys loose, like on the Oregon offense. Guys were running free.
Yeah, well, just the assignment, just in our assignment. Again, I felt like they didn't, we just got to execute our assignment, with great detail, fly around, with our effort and the physicality. We got to get hats to the ball.
Do you feel like there was an overcommitment to stopping the run from the second and third levels of the defense?
I don't feel like that. There's times where you got to read your keys, and if it's a run play, you got to play the run, and in the pass plays, you have your keys. We don't know when it's going to come, when a runner pass is going to come, but we have our keys, and that's going to teach us that or tell us what's going on, and we have to play that just with great detail. That's what it comes down to, and then executing.
Is there a guy on your defense kind of just through the first 3 weeks of the season so far that, you feel like we haven't brought it up enough that's really stood out to you? Is there someone who's kind of flying under the radar right now that you've been really impressed with?
That's a tough question for me because I'm always looking holistically and at everything, Someone, I don't think so. I think collectively, even with that, anybody who we brought up, we all got to get the job done together, and that's what we're looking for, just all the players. So I don't want to single out any particular guy. The guys we spoke of in the past did a great job, but now is the time we need more guys just to step up and everyone to step up and do a better job.
Is it a benefit to, sort of get some of these problems issued earlier on in the season rather than, getting later into the season or even in conference play for you guys to find these things out?
Absolutely. If you're going to have a tough game like that, and, the way that we need to respond, to that, and that's what we talk about, how we're going to respond, you want that to happen early. You don't want it to happen at all, but you want it to happen early. Later on and down the season, when things get going, you never know what it is. But we live 1 week at a time. We want to know at a time, but if something's bad is going to happen early, let it happen early, and then we got to build upon that.
So then as you do go about turning the page, what specifically are maybe the A and B areas that you would be working on?
Just the details of our job, and then doing it and executing. And us coaches making sure we explain and the players know the details of that job. So that way there's no question about what exactly I'm supposed to do and then how I need to do it. And then after that, it just becomes about how we play, because at the end of the day, every team is doing some fashion of the same thing, but it's how you do what you do. And then that goes back to our mentality of how we play with the physicalness and the toughness and then effort.
So basically assignment football, know your assignment, and then play instinctively.
Yeah, but you know it, and guys know it. I believe they know it, but we got to do it with that fine level of just more detail, right, to execute it, and then go do it fast and physical.
What have you seen mindset-wise? You kind of worry about a performance like that, denting confidence or shaking them that way. How have you seen them respond?
I think our guys have been very resilient. Sunday was tough for us all of us. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be tough, and if you took that lightly, then I'll be questioning other things. We all would. But I think that we had a really good Tuesday practice, getting back to it. Dialing back then the things that the players do well, identifying that, and then going and teaching the details of those things. And then guys were flying around these last 2 days of practice. So we just got to keep it going And then when it gets to, we got tomorrow's practice, we got Friday's practice, a later game, we still are going to have a bunch of time to mentally prepare, and then Saturday it has to show up on tape.
Purdue's coming off a game where not a whole lot went right on either side of the ball. When you look at the tape, what do you see offensively that you got to be ready for on Saturday?
I think they have a big O-line, and they have a really good tight end. The quarterback is elusive, and I think they got a couple of receivers of a good size. But at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about us. So we watch the plays. We're getting some of the same runs that we've already seen. The past game, like I said, they can get it to their tight end and their receivers, and they got two really good backs that run hard, and one of them is very shifty. But it's going to be about us and the detail of the job that we're going to do on ND&D, getting them to the third downs that we want to get them to, so then we can go play aggressive.
How beneficial was it, playing against Dylan Gabriel, who's also elusive, and then going into a game like Purdue where that quarterback has the ability to get out and scramble?
Yeah, we'll talk about the quarterback approach, and stuff like that, containing him. But, at the end of the day, whether it's beneficial or not, we just have to do our jobs. I'm not looking and comparing, Dylan, Gabriel to Card and stuff like that. It's just really about executing on ND&D, normal down and distance, and then getting them to the third down. So then, this week, so we got to prepare to make sure we defend everything on those ND&D third downs, get them to where we want, identified what they do, and then making sure we contain the quarterback because he does make some plays with his feet.
Playing without Noble the last 2 weeks, just kind of how have you felt about the production from your slot corners, and how are you working out other guys to maybe play in that role that have been playing on the outside?
Yeah, we've had a rotation there. Obviously Cy has stepped up and been doing that, and then we've also worked Josiah Johnson and Mason White. So we've been kind of messing with that, and Josiah is also playing corner. So it's just Cy's a really good player. It's just tighter coverage, the details of our assignment, understanding like the splits, the leverage that you need to play with, and then how tight you have to play down in some of those situations. So we've been working with some guys, but those guys will be the guys who we have right now.
Yeah, specifically with Cy, what do you like about him that he gives you guys there?
Smart, really quick, fast, and there are times, I'll be honest, he got a little bit, he sped himself up where he was backpedaling. And then that's just like, hey, calm down, man. Calm down. Just play the technique how you've been playing it all week.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you.